Welcome to our explainer. Today, we're diving into something we all do, about 20,000 times a day, but almost never think about. We're talking about the incredible and almost completely overlooked technology of our own breath.
Right now in wellness and psychiatry, we're kind of at this major fork in the road. For so long, the main approach has been all about symptom suppression. You feel anxious? We try to silence it. Depressed? We try to lift it. But there's this whole other path emerging, one focused on rhythm restoration. The idea that maybe, just maybe, we don't need to silence the alarm, but instead restore the body's own natural healing rhythm.
And that really gets to the heart of what we're exploring today. What if the most powerful remedy isn't something you swallow, but a pattern you can learn to create? Let's go on a little journey to see how the simple, repeating pattern of our breath can actually be powerful, measurable medicine. So, to really get this, we have to start with the science. We need to peek under the hood at the absolutely incredible biological network that fires up with every single sigh, every inhale, every exhale.
It all kicks off right here, deep inside your brain stem, in this tiny little cluster of neurons called the pre-Boettinger complex. You can think of it as your body's own personal rhythm section, the metronome that sets the beat for your breath. And, as you're about to see, that beat starts this massive chain reaction all through your body and brain.
And that chain reaction travels along this biological superhighway called the vagus nerve. This is the main line of communication between your gut, your heart, your lungs, and your brain. And here's the kicker. Your breath has a direct line to this nerve. It's how your body talks to your brain.
And get this. An unbelievable 80% of the nerve fibers in this superhighway are flowing in one direction, from the body up to the brain. So it's not so much your brain telling your body what to do, it's your body constantly reporting back to headquarters, telling your brain whether you're safe and calm or if there's danger. And your breath is one of the chief messengers.
Okay, so if our breath is constantly sending these updates to our brain, what's the best possible message we could send it? Well, it turns out science has zeroed in on a specific rhythm, a kind of magic number that has truly remarkable and measurable effects on our ability to bounce back from stress.
And here it is. The magic number seems to hover right around 6 breaths per minute. Study after study shows that when people breathe at roughly this pace, their body enters a state of what scientists call optimal physiological coherence. Now, this isn't just about breathing slow. Something really cool happens at this specific speed. It's called the resonant frequency. It's the point where all your internal systems, they just click. Your heart rhythms, your breathing, and your blood pressure waves all start to move together, synchronized in this powerful, harmonious dance. They stop fighting each other and start working as a team.
And you can actually measure the results. This isn't just a feeling. When researchers looked at a ton of studies on this kind of breathing, they found a huge impact on anxiety, an effect size of 0.83, which in the clinical world is a really big deal. For depression, the effect was a bit more moderate, but still absolutely significant.
And it doesn't stop there. The research shows a whole laundry list of other benefits. We're talking significant relief for veterans dealing with PTSD, a real measurable drop in blood pressure, a huge decrease in key markers for inflammation, and a big drop in cortisol, which is, our main stress hormone.
So this data is incredible, right? But it's also pointing to something even more profound. What happens when we take this science out of the lab and into our daily lives? How does it change how we connect and heal with other people?
This quote really just nails it. All the science we've been talking about, the vagus nerve, the resonant frequency, all of it, is really just a roadmap to one destination, creating a feeling of safety. Because it's only when our bodies, our nervous systems feel truly safe that our minds can relax enough to think clearly, to connect, and to heal.
And that leads us to this beautiful concept called co-regulation. It's the idea that your own calm, regulated nervous system can act like an external anchor for someone else. When you're calm, your presence can literally help organize and soothe the nervous system of someone who's in distress. Your calm is contagious.
So how does that work in the real world? Well, therapists use a technique you can think of as observe, match, and lead. First, you just quietly observe the other person's breathing pattern. Then, you subtly start to match their rhythm, which builds this unspoken sense of rapport. And then, once you're in sync, you can gently, slowly begin to lead them toward a slower, more calm and coherent pattern. You're literally breathing with them into a state of calm. This is amazing for one-on-one relationships, but it makes you wonder, right? Just how far does this effect go? Could it extend beyond just two people to influence an entire group, a whole community?
Well, that brings us to this absolutely wild study from 1993. Researchers tracked what happened when a large group of people gathered to meditate together to create this collective coherence. And they found that during that time, violent crime in the surrounding Washington, D.C. area dropped by 25%. It points to this mind-bending idea of a large-scale field effect, which really challenges how we think about connection and influence.
Some modern approaches are taking this idea even further. There's a concept called spiral psychiatry that treats specific breath patterns almost like prescriptions. They call them harmonic glyphs. Each rhythm is designed with a specific intention to create a specific state. So you can see a quick 3-3-3 breath might be used for activation, while the longer 4-8 breath is for integration and release. It's like a toolkit of rhythms for shaping your own state of being.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's that we have to completely rethink what breath is. It's not just this automatic background process that keeps us alive. It's a technology. It's our most basic, most powerful, and most accessible tool for regulating our own bodies, for connecting with others, and for healing. And that leads to this really beautiful and simple final thought that ties it all together. The bridge between my body and my mind, between me and you, between chaos and calm, that bridge is built in every single shared exhale.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. In a world that is always looking for the next big, complicated solution, what if the most profound healing of all begins with the simple, powerful rhythm that we carry with us every moment, the rhythm we so often ignore?